I'm Dave Dinkle with another 2-minute tip to try and help you make bigger profits or more of them. My focus right now is on how many prospecting techniques are you doing? And when I say how many prospecting techniques, look, you're looking for motivated sellers. How are you stacking your filters to find what should be the most motivated sellers? The demise of most new investors is thinking that because there is in pre-foreclosure, pre-tax deed sale, probate situation, on and on and on, he's supposed to be motivated. And he is when he gets ready. Oftentimes they'll keep their head in the sand, so to speak, right up until the property's sold out from under them. They just can't believe that Uncle Harry's not going to come through with them. It doesn't matter. What matters is how many specific targeted markets are you doing? If you look at great advertising and marketing by many of the guys in the industry, there's always a bright, shiny new course coming up, which is like grandma in a new dress. All they do is the same old stuff kind of, and I'm not ragging on them. I'm just saying to you, it's the same thing. It's like wholesaling. Well, now I'm doing reverse wholesaling. Oh, wonderful. What is that? Well, that's where I find the buyers first, and then I go and find the wholesale deals. Oh, okay. So why don't you find the buyers, but keep looking for wholesale deals at the same time so that the buyers you have, if you can't fit it to them, you can fit it to your regular buyer list. You can always go after targeted market buyers. I'll tell you where it is important. Commercial properties and niche commercial properties like abandoned schools, churches, and various tiny, tiny niches where the profit potentials are gigantic. Enough said. We come back to this. Let's talk about very successful investors, guys who are doing 7 figures net, not gross. Because they can be spending 80% of their income and be very happy making a couple $100,000 or $400,000 a year, but leaving on the table a real chunk of change. How many niches do they market to? And the answer is very simple. It's 1 or it's 2. Very seldom do you ever get 3. Now, why don't they do more? I mean, I can market for 5 or 6 at a time. Why shouldn't I do that? Well, typically what you see is kind of a sine wave type of thing in the motivation and action taking on sellers in different niches. Now, is that human nature? Is it the moon cycles? It doesn't matter. But what people see as we are investors and we're doing mailings, for example, or pay-per-click ads, or whatever you're doing, is you're doing the same amount of money and getting less results. Suddenly you put in more money and you get less results. Then you put in less money and you get more results. And you say to yourself, what is going on? You blame it on Google spiders and algorithm changes and all these things. But the reality is that's the nature of the cycle of life. Up and down, up and down. So smart investors have at least 2 of these targeted niches that not oftentimes coincide with the sinusoidal waves. So what you're trying to do is stabilize your income. For new investors, it's very frustrating. You know, I get a deal a month. Why can't I do 4 deals a month? Well, there's a real basic reason why you can, and it's because your advertising schedule and the number of niches you're doing aren't sufficient to do what you want to do. I have a student. He's a great guy. I love him, and I talk about him all the time, and he knows it. I used to say to him, I had very few students. They only have 2 types. They never did anything at all, and they quit, or they became very successful, and I didn't have many in between. He was the guy that was always in between. And again, he's a great guy, and I love him. I'm ready to go fishing with him when I can, but nice guy, wonderful. But what he did is he was very happy in one niche. And what he did is he mailed 400 or 300 or 600 postcards to his one niche, and every month, pretty typically, he would do 20,000, or have a good month, he'd do 40,000 bucks. It's not bad. You know, it's not bad. But I said to him any number of times, and sometimes I even pointed him out at our Real Estate Investor Association meetings, not to embarrass him, but I knew he had the potential to do greatness, to be a great investor. And it's up to him. If you're very happy with making $20,000 a month or $30,000, do it. But in real estate investing, you have the opportunity to be almost unlimited. And I say that because you can scale the business. The business doesn't have to be high dollar intensive. It can be what you want it to be, but it will be nothing if you don't do something about it. So every once in a while when I talk to him, I said, what are you doing? He said, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm mailing out 200 more postcards, but he's getting better. And the result is he's going to do better and better. I love him for it. But everyone is different. Some of you guys have a hunger, literally, to make money, and I hear it in your voice. But the gap between talking about it and failing forward and doing it is gigantic. It's like a chasm. Very, very few people take the step, and they're going to fall, they're going to get hurt, but they got to get up. When they get up and climb up the other side is when they see the success. I've drawn out this 2-minute tip, probably a little more than 2 minutes. The point is this: your success is up to you. And don't give up on one niche that doesn't work. At least have a couple of them. And go into niches where you have the potential to make bigger bucks. Let's say, Dave, I only want to do wholesaling. Great. Where are your prospects coming from? Bankruptcies, divorces, probates, pre-foreclosures, pre-tax deed sales, and on and on and on. So even though it's one niche, it has many facets where you should be advertising. I'm Dave Dinkle, and I wish you limitless success in all that you do.